thank you all for attending this webinar. Hopefully it will address the issues you expected when you signed up. If it does not, or something is incomplete or uncertain, please jot that down for Q&A at our conclusion. If you think of something in the next couple of days, please contact me through compliance trainings and I will respond to that question. If it's a general interest question, the question and answer will be sent to all of you in attendance. If you think of something months later, contact me either directly or through compliance trainings and I will respond individually to that question or point you in the right direction. I do this all the time. It's not an imposition on me. It's a valuable feedback. So please utilize that feature so that you leave this webinar or later on see the benefit from the webinar completely, that there's no blanks as far as you're concerned. So I'm going to be talking about the 510K, the Investigational Device Exemption, and the pre-market application approval process with the FDA as currently done. If you're contemplating doing any one of those, I'd certainly urge you to, in addition to the information here, which is more generalized, general purpose, please look at the website, the FDA website, and the appropriate guidance documents, etc., to make sure that you have the latest information on what is required. And there are pre-submission avenues available to you through the FDA, and there's information on their FDA website to talk you through some of that. So utilize that as well if you have any questions. I personally believe if I'm familiar with the submission process, I like to present the FDA with information and let them look at the information I present rather than have an open-ended question where I ask them what they would recommend. When I do that, I find they take the conservative approach because they're not sure where I'm coming from, especially if I haven't submitted anything that they can actually review concrete, like a formal submission or at least something in writing, that they're a little leery about giving me too much leeway. So the more I can show them a rationale and a submission bit of information that's concrete in a form of an IDE copy, a hard copy, then I can get a better feedback from them. So just bear that in mind. That's kind of the caution I would recommend when you're dealing with the FDA. Just like any person getting a phone call, you yourself, you're going to be very cautious because you don't want something taken out of context later on and say, well, they said I could do this type of thing. So we're going to look at the process in general, some of the goals that they have. And remember, any situation dealing with individuals and a bureaucracy has its imperfections. So bear that in mind as we go through this. We're going to look at three different types of 510Ks, the traditional, the most common, the special, and the abbreviated, and then an alternative approach to the PMA/510K, the de novo, for something that you can't find a specific predicate for. We're going to look at the Investigational Device Exemption, a submission in order to clear a prototype to run clinical trials. And then the PMA, pre-market approval process. 510K is a clearance, the PMA is an approval. And then how you deal with product changes, primarily on the 510K. And then, of course, we'll open this up to Q&A. So, and this entire discussion is focused on the United States Federal Food and Drug Administration under federal regulation. We're not talking about submissions under the European Union. So if a company wants to sell product in the U.S., whether they're a U.S. company or a foreign company, they have to adhere to this arrangement. If you're going to sell outside the United States, then you have the Medical Device Directive currently and the Medical Device Regulation, which is being phased in. You have CE marking. You have ISO 13485 for your quality management system, and you work through a notified body. But what we're focusing on here is working with the GMPs, 820 for devices, and the various submission routes through the FDA for sale of product in the United States. So that's our focus in this discussion. Now we need to clarify what we're talking about. So we obviously, when we're looking at our device, contemplating manufacturing a new product, and it's gone beyond the R&D stage to development, to commercialization, Then we have to go on the FDA's various databases that they have available through